Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Talk Podcast. Let's talk about women making a fortune, or let's ask the question, how did most women make their fortune? Well, a lot of women got rich by divorcing their husbands. And I once heard a TikTok content creator saying, divorcing is a Ponzi scheme. Women get married to very successful, high earning men just to turn around and divorce them and take more than half of their property, their finance, their ownings, and almost everything. And if you have children, they're going to take them too. Well, I do hear a lot, or I think most people have heard this, that women like to talk about how they are making big money and how they are making change in the society and they are running businesses and, they're doing so much and even more than men can do. Well, if that was the case, that would be beautiful. Good for you. If you own a business and you build that business on your own and you're employing people and you're giving people the opportunity to have a job because you are a great employer and you made your fortune on your own. But unfortunately, that is not the case. I am not saying there's no woman on this earth who's not running a business. I'm not saying women are not capable. I am not saying that there is no woman who got rich because she's actually doing the work. But the majority of women don't want to do the hard work. It takes a lot to build a business because every business that starts small is going to fail in the first few years, and not just once, but maybe twice, some even more than that. And to keep standing up straight and pushing against all the odds that's going to force you to quit, but you don't quit, that's quite tough. From about 100 women who are listed to be the richest, the most wealthiest women on this earth, from which we know of, isn't it funny that only 2 of these women actually made their own money? They got rich because they did the work. And 98 of these other women only got rich because they divorced their husbands or because they were lucky enough to come from a wealthy family and they got their inheritance. And if you are one of those few people who were born into a wealthy family and then you inherit what your parents, your grandparents have worked for, I think that is great. You should be very thankful and grateful that you are one of those few people who get that type of opportunity. But what happens a lot is that we love to pretend and show to the world as if we were the ones who made all that fortune on our own, knowing very well there's always a man or even multiple men behind the scene who are helping you to get in that position. And that is so funny that women don't like to admit it. And I don't see anything wrong with having help. I don't see anything wrong with asking for help. But we have become so strong and independent and so competitive against men that the logic is fighting against our ego, or the other way around. Our ego is fighting against logic. So we rather pretend that we can do it all on our own, but that is not the case. Most women took the easy way out, knowing that the system is going to benefit them and they will always have an easy time filing for divorce. No reasons needed nowadays, and you are going to be able to take almost half or even more than half of what that man has worked for. And that is quite painful, to be honest. Now, you might think, okay, well, these are just a few people. We're talking of the very tiny circle of the 1% of people. Is it really going to hurt them? Well, this is not just happening in that circle. This is happening in general. Men who might not be billionaires or who are not in the hundreds of millions, but they have quite a bit of money that they have worked hard for, right? Quite a bit is actually stupid to say. They do have money, and now you get with a woman, you're trying to build a life together, you are providing, you are taking care of her, and suddenly she gets so selfish and just divorces you while you have no choice and no chance to win again, to win against that case. You're always going to lose, especially in the West. So what is happening is that we have been seeing these cases happening more and more. It's become so normalized. You get a marriage, you're married for 5 years, and suddenly you're bored or you just don't feel like that anymore. You think you can do better, whatever the case may be, and you just file for divorce. This is making men actually dodge getting married. They don't want this anymore. They are seeing what women are actually doing, that women are using them for what they have, for what they have worked hard for. And a lot of men are saying, look, I'm not even sure I want to get married and put 100% into this, knowing very well that she can just get bored one day or whatever the case may be and just divorce me and I'm going to lose everything. So men in every area of earnings are literally thinking twice, even more than twice. They're more closer to the choice of not getting married at all. So now, this has been put out there. You hear this on social media, you read this in magazines, you sometimes even hear about stuff like this in the news. And it's giving women the easy way out. It's actually kind of inviting women to join into this way of living, right? To look for a man who is doing well for himself, right? And to kind of find a way to get into a relationship, get pregnant or get married just for you to be able to take the easy way out and destroy his life. This is why you're seeing more and more women talking about how they want a rich guy because they think they deserve it. No, they don't deserve it. You deserve what you worked for. And they are saying these things because they see other women doing it and they see other women actually coming through with this without no issues. It's been done multiple times and it's an invitation to other women. They're like, oh, if she can do it and profit from it and the system supports it, the judicial system supports it, the court system supports it, the Western system, the government system, everything in general supports it, then you have a bunch of women who are not going to judge you. They're going to be clapping for you because they're going to say, oh yeah, you go girl, you did the right thing, you're strong and independent, you should be entitled to his money. So it's going to be more easy for women to think like this and to actually pull this. So for me, I do understand a lot when men nowadays are shying off of the idea of getting married, or when men are actually only wanting to get married if the woman is willing to sign a prenup. And to me, that is a great idea. If you want to get married and he's the provider, he's doing his part 100%, why is it an issue for you to sign a prenup? You're not losing. What are you planning? Are you planning to jump off and leave just because you feel like that, or just because you're bored suddenly? This is just insane what has been happening over the last few years, and it's just growing and growing. And the worst thing is that these women, they divorce their husbands who've been taking care of them and giving them the lifestyle that most men cannot afford, right? They do take half of the money, but most likely they spend it unnecessarily, or let's say they want to tap into a new relationship and it's going to be tough for them to find that type of relationship that they got out, because not every man is capable of giving you that type of lifestyle. Then you're older, your expectations are much more higher, so you end up being a rich woman through divorce, but lonely. Is that the life we want to promote? That you might have the money now, but what else do you have? You don't have anything. You have your fancy wine bottles, you have all the money to spend, but who are you sharing life with? I'm also going to talk about this issue that a lot of career driven women are facing in the next episode, because women don't understand that you having a bunch of money, which is good for you, right? Nice, do your thing. But that is not helping you in attracting a man, especially men who have more than that, especially men who are capable of making their own money. Men who are leaders, competent and confident men, they don't care about you being a boss chick, right? Everybody wants to be a boss bee nowadays, which I think is not the best thing to do. Like, why would you want to call yourself that? But these career-driven women, they put themselves on a pedestal because now they're making money, they're earning a lot, which is, as I said, good for you, right? You should be able to take care of yourself, and the better you can, even better for you. But that is not what men are attracted in. They don't want a woman who's bossy and having her competitive attitude from work, bringing that into the household. So I'm going to talk about this very soon. For now, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye.